Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday. Thursday, not Friday, Thursday. And we're doing our show tonight because I'm not going to be here tomorrow or over
Nice.
the weekend. Megan and I are taking a little weekend trip, so I won't be here to do it. But hey, yeah. So I got to tell you, Jimmy, I'm getting a little sick and fucking tired of taking of being the butt of the jokes around my house.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to get your opinion on something.
Sounds good. I'm
Yeah.
wondering what this tagline's about.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a TV show that I watch that I've watched the entire series that's still on TV.
Is it the I think I know where this is going.
And so Megan and Patrick are sitting here and Megan's looking for Valentine's Day gifts for me. And I hear her and Patrick over there fucking chuckling, having a good time. Patrick's like, "Yes, you have to do that. You have to get that. Yes, 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 yes." So that Megan's like, "Well, I'm not going to buy it, so I'll show you." So it's a coffee mug. One, I don't drink coffee, but two, it's a coffee mug that has the whole opening saying for the Curse of Oak Island,
There
and
it
then it
is.
says, "There's a buried treasure, but all they found is wood." I'm sick and tired of having these motherfuckers make fun of me for watching that show.
You're way too invested. I think I don't you may be way too you're hooked on it and you can't let it go. You can't face the facts that it's a waste.
I mean, let's be real. How many years did Friends run?
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
I
whoa.
didn't make fun. I don't make fun of motherfuckers who watch Friends.
What are you talking about? How are you comparing Curse of Oak Island to
It's
one of
the
the greatest
same
comedy shows
thing.
in
It's
history?
a series and a series.
No, 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 no. That's not
I
the
mean,
same thing.
I don't make I don't make fun of Megan for watching Big Bang Theory all the time. And those aren't even new episodes.
I would make I'd if you want to stretch, I'd call it like a soap opera that's just like the never-ending drama that doesn't, go anywhere. I which it's hard for me to knock it because I haven't watched them, but like isn't shows what are the major like soap opera shows during the day? All I know is like General Hospital, which my my mother watched every afternoon. I don't know if she still does, but that's like a 40-year show.
Jimmy, you're supposed to be on
She
my
still
fucking team.
watches it,
You're supposed to
apparently.
be on my team.
Well, no, I'm just saying you're hooked. You're into it. Like if you enjoy it, I don't care what you watch. You can watch stuff that doesn't make sense, but then you go start attacking Friends, and that's
I mean,
bold.
here's the thing. Like, it's not just, would it be nice if they found what they were looking for? Sure. That would be great. But that's really like that's like 6 seasons ago. Like that was like the goal 6 seasons ago. Like now it's like there's like a lot of historical value that this show brings. And I enjoy history. I enjoy, I watch uh, Expedition Unknown all the time, because of the history and stuff that they show in there. And so to me, at this point, it's another history kind of show to me. I think it's on the History Channel actually, and so it's more of the history thing for me at
But
this point.
is it okay? So your expectations of the show have changed. It's not about some secret treasure that was supposed to be there, but they have to do something with their time, right? But are they manufacturing like a discovery or are they actually pursuing something that is potentially legitimate?
Yeah, no, I mean and when I say history, I mean like the theory is that this was buried in like the 1700s on this island, 16 somewhere in the 1700 range. Um, and so the ties to it, uh, there's a lot of theories out there about who would have been the people who actually buried it on this island off of Nova Scotia in Canada. And so it's kind of more like almost an investigative thing at this point, where they actually go around the world, looking at. Why are you laughing, fucker?
So what do they find?
Well, I'll give you an example.
Buttons.
Fuck both of you, because you're both laughing. Megan's in here crying because she heard you say that.
She's influencing our podcast, that's for sure.
I know, it's horrible. No, but they found a lead cross buried on the beach part of the island, and so they went. They do a lot of scientific stuff where they analyze what it's made out of and all that, and then they can kind of come up with where it was made based on the makeup of the iron or whatever. And then they flew to Italy, and they found like the same exact cross like carved into the wall of a prison from the same time period that they're looking. So they make correlations between stuff they find on the island and other places in the world that it could potentially, that these things could have potentially come from. So
that sounds like an episode, but this has been going on for how many years?
I'm done talking about this shit with you all.
I'm just asking questions, or did they put that cross there? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much they would get away with falsifying that kind of stuff, because I don't know. I mean, Canada's a lot more strict on shit like that than we are, and I'm not sure they would be able to actually get away with planting something like that. And
I don't know, man.
It's TV. Who knows?
It's TV.
These guys are making $50,000 an episode, so they're on season 11, episode 8, and I think last season had 24 episodes. So,
but that's insane. But you got to agree that there's incentive to keep it going, right? What?
Absolutely. And I don't deny that. I don't deny that they probably, if they have a legitimate idea of what they're searching for is actually there, and they have an idea of where it is, they're certainly doing their best to not go near it until they're ready for the show to end. But it's still also the number 1 rated show in the country.
Well, do you and the 12 other guys that watch it get together and hang out?
See, I can't have a serious conversation with you fucks.
I don't watch it.
No, seriously though, it's the number 1 rated series on TV. So it's not like I'm the only person in the country that watches this show.
Yeah, apparently not. It probably sounds good. Everybody gets hooked. I get it. It's fun to poke fun at you. I don't. I bet you if I started at the beginning, I probably would get hooked, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
You want to keep going. I don't recommend it though. I'm not gonna.
So Jimmy, note to self: don't ever start watching it.
Yeah, no, that's why I refuse. Yeah, because I pretty much anytime there's a lot of popular movie series, and if I miss the first one or whatever, and they 2, 3, 4 come out, I just don't watch them. But then because until I'm ready, and then I'll invest it. Like John Wick, I think, is an example.
Yeah.
I missed them when they kind of originally came out. Then I'm like, well, all right, I gotta. If I'm gonna watch them, I'm gonna start from the beginning, and I'll invest, but and see it through. But
I was kind of the
Yeah.
same way with the Equalizer. Like I didn't like when they came out, I didn't watch them, but then at some point down the road, at some point down the road, I watched the first one. I was like, oh shit, I need to watch the second and third one because that was pretty
Mm,
good. So,
yeah, I didn't feel I don't love the John Wick movies. Yeah,
mhm.
I think we talked about this during the maybe
Yeah,
at one of the movie discussion episodes, but yeah, the that kind of over, endless action doesn't do it for me. I need more
yeah.
storyline, but it was pretty good. Um, but you're talking about the History Channel, and you're talking about history shows. I don't know if you heard, but Steven Ranella, the Meat Eater guy,
Hmm.
is releasing a new show. I believe it's on the History Channel, but I think it's called like Chasing History or Hunt. I'm sorry, Hunting
Hunting
History.
history.
Yeah, Hunting
Yeah.
History. So I'm interested in that because he's a phenomenal author, storyteller kind of guy. So I think that anything he kind of does in pursuit of that. He's just very knowledgeable and um, interested, I guess, in history and other things. So it's not hunting related, but
Hmm.
like his other Meat Eater stuff. So
Right.
they tied in the hunting history. So he's just a smart guy. That could be cool if that's the kind of thing you like.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. All right. So real quick, because I don't want to stay on here too long with people tonight, but obviously we had a lot of stuff going on in the news.
It's a
Uh,
busy week.
busy week. You got I don't know if you caught any of Cash Patel or Tulsi Gabbard's um,
So
hearings today.
Tulsi actually had a hearing today
Yeah,
on the same day that Cash Patel had a hearing.
yeah, they
So
went one right after the other.
okay, I worked, but I listened to the Kash Patel all except until the end because they cut it off for the coverage of the plane crash.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, but I haven't. I need to go listen to Tulsi's. I don't know how
Yeah.
that went at all.
Um, I mean, I think it went exactly how anyone with a brain would thought it would go.
Well, I don't know. I mean, she is very very. I mean, just like RFK Jr., but she's very very recently a Democrat and like
Mhm.
on that side of the aisle.
Which is all the more reason why they hate her.
Yeah, I guess I just would hope. I mean, but that just shows their colors, right? That they're
Yeah, they were just like with Cash Patel, their attacks on her were baseless,
mhm,
but they were persistent. And actually, of all of them that I've seen now, and I think they're all pretty much done. At
mhm.
least their committee hearings are done. I honestly think the only one that may not make it through is RFK Jr.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I don't really know what to say because I was pretty surprised that the Pete Hegseth was as close as it was. I understand the objections, and he still got through.
Mhm.
So I just don't. I mean, but people like Mitch McConnell, he seems to be like dead set of just he's just going to push back against Trump, and he doesn't care.
Well, he's
Um,
retiring. This is his last term. He's not running for office again, so he
Yeah, but
doesn't get.
what's he I don't know what he's accomplishing. Well, yeah, I mean, I hope he knows that. I mean, he's probably not gonna last long anyway. The guy is
Yeah,
in
he's pretty ancient.
serious health decline. But, I mean, him excluding him, I'm not real sure. I was I think it was the Cash Patel one, but everybody seemed to be real confident on that side of
Mhm.
the aisle that he's gonna be
Yeah,
confirmed. I
yeah,
thought, there'd be a lot of more question about his experience and not I mean, I think he certainly displays enough experience in my mind, but he's been shown to be extremely partisan, I think.
hmm absolutely.
So, but totally support it. I don't think that he just be, you can be partisan and have, align with one side without attacking and,
Right.
actually politically attacking everybody else, the
Right.
other side. So I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. You think that RFK Jr. is going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Tulsi's going to be close like Hegseth. I think Cash Patel He'll be fine. He might not get any Democrats, but I think all the Republicans are going to vote for him.
Yeah.
Tulsi's going to be. She may lose Mitch McConnell, but maybe not anyone else. And she may even get maybe one Democrat or maybe two. So I think she'll be okay. But RFK Jr. The Democrats didn't like him, and a lot of the Republicans didn't like him.
You mean you got that from the hearing?
Yeah.
I didn't feel that way. So that's interesting. However,
today was day 2. Did you see his day 2 today?
Maybe not.
It was worse. His day 2 today was worse than yesterday.
No, I guess I only listened to his yesterday. Because I'm listening to like the full thing, so I'm not getting through them very quickly. However, that's surprising, mainly because he's of all the selections, like he was the one that Trump aligned with and like basically guaranteed a position. And not only that, so not that Trump controls it, obviously, but I feel like of all the pressure you're going to put on your Republican cohort in Congress, that's I think that they're going to feel that to actually get anything done, I'd say. So I really hope he does get confirmed. And my main reason is I just don't understand how so many people can attack him when he is way more knowledgeable. He has a lifetime of research in this area, a lifetime of knowledge and experience and research in this area that they don't have. And all they wanted to do was attack him politically, and try to call him, an anti-vaxxer and this and that. So,
that's basically what they did.
They didn't hold any weight though. I don't know.
Both sides were doing it. What I listened to today, I mean, if I hadn't listened to yesterday and I just listened to his hearing today, I would have said there's absolutely no fucking way he's making it.
Okay. Wow.
And even yesterday I thought it would have been close, but if I just listened to today, that I would say there would be no way in hell he's making it. So we'll see. And Tulsi's kind of the same. I think she could have done a better job thwarting the Snowden stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if you've listened to hers yet.
I didn't listen to anything of hers.
Yeah, I mean, she could have done really a lot better job, kind of talking away the Snowden stuff, because that's what they kept hitting her on, and she just kept kind of blowing them off and not really even attempting to I don't even want to say defend, but not even like really give her position. She's just kind of letting them control the narrative on what she said and what she meant about Snowden. So I think that hurt her. And then also the Assad claims, she just kind of let them do it. Like
that's been a theme of all of these candidates. I feel like they haven't defended themselves well in certain cases where I think there's been opportunities to kind of flip it on them, or at least call them out for a nonsense like claim and attack. And that's an absurd one to go after her for.
Like Kash Patel today telling the senators, like, well, if I had 5 hours, I'd be, asking you all these questions on this.
You have 2 minutes.
He goes, well, you got 2 minutes.
Yeah. That was funny.
She's like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, that because you're dealing with somebody who doesn't matter. They're just there to try to.
They're not going to vote for you anyway.
Yeah. They're not trying to play ball. But I mean, even in that, I would say you had an opportunity. I reached out to you or whatever. I met with you, and we addressed this stuff. And now you just want to bring it up to make a show of it. Like I would just I think they could have been more candid in calling out the other side and saying like, "What do you mean?"
And Kash Patel did that today.
Yeah,
he did it with Dick Durbin, and he did it with
Schiff?
Who? No. Who's the other one he did it with? Maybe Senator, maybe White House when.
Wasn't White House in the? Yeah, I'm missing it. I don't know if he was. I thought he was in the RFK
Well, he might be in
committee.
both. He might be on both
Maybe,
committees.
maybe. Yeah, I just listened
Um,
to it, so I'm not
but
sure.
I'm pretty sure it might have been White House where he said, yeah, just like I had the conversation with you in your office, and I
Hmm.
promised you that, I would help. My main goal would be helping your state get rid of all the fentanyl overdoses. But you're
Hmm.
not talking about that. You're just coming out here and putting on this spectacle like we never talked about stuff.
Yeah, well, and also they tried to push him really hard about his uh, political commentary leading up to this and how he basically planned to target a bunch of people on the left or target people. I think he could have taken that and twisted it into what it actually is and made and highlighted what it actually is. Is it yes, it is a you know an identified list of people who are playing political games. These are the people that we want to root out from this system.
Mm-hmm.
It's a targeted response, but
Yeah.
it's not because of their politics. Is because they were using politics
Right.
um, rather than actually enforcing the law. And so I'm going to stick to enforcing the law and you know getting these people that were committing, criminal acts in pursuit of their political goals. And
Yeah.
so that's my goal is to root that out. And I think they could have highlighted that a little bit better. And Chris is disappearing.
Yeah, I'm here.
You're good.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I think everybody else, uh, basically, maybe they might have one more, maybe two more that kind of insignificant positions that need to be confirmed. But these are the main last three that have to go through.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah. Well, now, man, I have a lot more hours to catch up on.
yeah, yeah, they're
It is
long.
pretty fascinating, but it's frustrating as well. It's frustrating to listen to some of the attacks that don't actually touch on the issues.
Yeah, yeah.
I like, yeah,
When your
the
person's up for FBI director and nobody talks about the FBI.
exactly, yeah. That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, obviously, the elephant in the room today is the incident that happened here at our local airport uh, last night when the helicopter collided with the airplane flying into Reagan National Airport. No survivors, 67 dead. Um, Probably a lot more to come out as to what exactly happened. I have my own theory, but actually a couple. But yeah, I don't know. Pretty sad.
It's very sad. Are you interested in discussing your theory or sharing your theory?
I mean, I have a couple of things. So I've heard a couple of scenarios from people who've flown that corridor in a Black Hawk.
Okay. That's
Uh,
that's pretty good. Interesting.
and so it makes sense to me that a couple of these things could be true. Now, this is you know this is not a point fingers blame thing. I think these are just probabilities um, that make sense, if that makes sense.
Well, what I
So,
would say,
but
no, no, if you're not, if you go on, if you're still,
no, I was gonna get into what they were, but if you
yeah,
got something,
Phil, well, yeah, I just quickly, because I don't have anything extensive. I would just, my thoughts are, it doesn't make sense that there's anything shady going on.
no,
However, my biggest question is the flight path of that helicopter. It's not like the plane came out of nowhere. And so the flight path of the helicopter concerns me quite a bit but it would just be like, what the heck? Why? It makes no sense for somebody to do it intentionally, but it
Mhm.
certainly looked like an intentional act. So
So that's
that's not
kind of
really being
that's
talked
kind
about
of
much.
the the two scenarios that I've been presented with, um, kind of kind of skirt that issue, if not one of them. I think more so than the other, um, uh, covers that issue.
Okay.
So the direction that the helicopter was flying. So you have to understand the layout of the airport. You got runway 1 and runway 33. They're at 40 degrees off each other. So runway 1 running this way, runway 3 running this way. He came in from the east side of runway 3. Or is it the east? Yeah. No, the west side, I think. Either way, he came in from this side. Um, the guy who has flown Blackhawks on that pattern hundreds of times. And what he said was, at night, when you're flying that in that direction, there's a bridge behind, further back in the distance, um, from the airport. I don't. It might be the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, actually.
Okay.
He said sometimes, and he said he's had it happen to him, where when you're flying at night on that in that pattern, you can't distinguish
Yeah.
headlights from the cars on the bridge in air traffic, because the air
Yeah.
traffic is coming down and going up right there, right? It's landing or taking off, and the headlights from the car are literally facing right into the
Mm.
that pattern.
That's a very fair assessment and, fair question.
So he
But
said
yeah, I
that could
mean,
be one thing. He goes,
yeah,
the
and
other
just,
thing, he said the
yeah.
other thing is, if you watch the video, at the same time that the plane is landing, there's a plane taking off. If you hear the conversation between the controller and what supposedly, the helicopter, which is a one-sided conversation, right? You never hear the voice of the helicopter respond or anything. Um, but he says, go. He says, hey, helicopter, do you see the aircraft? And then he says, go around, or he goes, come in behind the air, or go behind the aircraft.
Hmm.
The other scenario is, because of the angle that the helicopter was coming towards the runways, or over the water, but in that direction, he thought that the tower was talking about the aircraft that was taking off, and he was going to get behind that, because in order to get behind that, you have to go right across the path of where the one was landing.
Hmm.
So that was two plausible reasons why that he gave of why it may have happened, and they're both reasonable, non-error, in the sense that the guy didn't, just generally fuck something up and fly
Yeah.
into an air.
Yeah.
Um, uh, so I don't know. Obviously we're gonna find out a ton more.
Yeah.
Uh,
Super tragic and unfortunate, but yeah, obviously an accident. You know, any rush to blame,
yeah.
any one thing is just, accidents are going to happen. Wasn't uh, obviously probably preventable either way, but
Mm,
I would say, I guess my one of my initial thoughts too is, regardless of those, plausible justifications, why are I don't it doesn't make sense to me why helicopters need to ever fly in the path of a takeoff and landing
mm,
uh, pathway
mm,
of another aircraft. It's a helicopter, doesn't have to do that. Basically, there's a pretty clear, you know pathway for any aircraft taking off or landing from those landing strips,
Hmm.
those runways. Why do they even have to go that direction?
Yeah.
Shouldn't put themselves there at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, and that's a legitimate question that I'm sure is going to be answered. Um, but it's just like anything else. I mean, we talk all the time about, or we can talk about, why do cars run stop signs and get in accidents? Why do, you know, you're still on the road, you still have a stop sign, you chose not to stop for it, and you caused the accident. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. There's patterns. They fly in these patterns. Obviously, there's rules to these patterns, and
mhm.
and there's priorities to these patterns, and maybe he just ignored the pattern. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. I mean, I would feel better really about that though, right? Because rather than no, it's routine and because there's obvious risk, but yeah, it'd be like turning down a one-way street, just trying to cut the corner.
right.
Like if that's the pattern, I mean, if that's something you is definitely a no-no, but you do it anyway,
Hmm.
um, yeah, then that's why we see what happens, but. And then the blame would be on whoever made that decision. But if
Right.
it's common practice for that to occur, it doesn't seem very, very smart. So,
Yeah, and apparently, and I haven't heard the information on who the pilots of the helicopter were. I know they said one was a warrant officer and one was an officer,
mhm,
and then they had an enlisted crew chief.
mm.
But it just doesn't make sense that experience now, and even the requirements to be able to fly in that airspace. Um, Apparently it's a very extensive training regimen before you even think about getting in a helicopter and flying in that airspace, when you get assigned to that unit at Fort Belvoir. Like, if you're a helicopter pilot, but you just because you report there doesn't mean that day one you get to take a helicopter up and fly through that airspace. You have to go through extensive training because it is so restricted. So these
Yep.
guys are not inexperienced pilots flying through that airspace. I mean, just like the pilots of the airplane, who, quite frankly, it's obvious the airplane never stood a chance.
Yeah.
They're at 400 feet. They're cleared on final, and basically they get hit from underneath by a helicopter, and that's that. At 400 feet, you're not saving shit. Um,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
so,
There's no chance. It's very unfortunate circumstances.
yeah,
I would say that the first justification that regardless of the flight path, um, but the direction of travel and
mhm,
having a bad backdrop at night,
yeah,
where they're both kind of essentially kind of on the same path, and there's not a whole lot of up and down, or
right,
it does make more logical sense that for the reason for that, it's just really bad, bad chances.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, that might be this. This might result in the closing of Ronald Reagan International Airport. Apparently, it was on the chopping block years ago,
Hmm.
but because of convenience to Congress, it was saved, and that's really the only reason that that airport is still in existence.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, I mean, it's either works or it doesn't. I really don't see why that would
oh,
be
there's
the end.
no. I guess I'm saying that because Congress, the senators that were there from Kansas last night pointed out point blank that the only reason that was there was because Congress threw a shit fit that they didn't want to drive back and forth to Dulles or BWI, so they
Hmm.
wanted to keep it. So the only reason that DC kept that airport was because Congress wanted it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's profitable, and I'm sure, I don't know.
It's a 10-minute drive for them from Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's going to be a lot more. I haven't heard too much about the people who were on the airplane. I've heard maybe like particular groups of people, but nothing's been that I'm aware of. Nothing official has been put out about who they actually were or anything like.
Well, I think they put out like it's a figure skating. It was like a figure skating team, and their families or friends that were traveling back from a camp in Kansas.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
my
they just
understanding.
hosted. Wichita just hosted last week the national championships for
Mm,
figure skating.
okay.
So that's what they were coming back from.
Well, yeah, when I saw the number, the size of the aircraft and the numbers, that was my inclination was like a sports team or something. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's that size. Like, who else takes a 60, 70 passenger plane unless you're really puddle jumping um, to get
Well,
on a bigger one? But
I can answer that question. Senator Moran from Kansas actually on TV last night said that he got that flight established a year ago, a direct flight, so that he could fly directly from there to here. Um, it's a small plane because how many people in Wichita are flying to DC routinely? It's a routine flight that happens every day. It's one
mhm,
flight. It's one direct flight to DC from Kansas, basically for his use. Obviously other people can get on it, but the purpose and
mm,
his reasoning for pushing it was getting him a direct flight from
uh,
his state to DC. Um, so yes, that's why it exists, and that's probably also why it's a small commuter jet.
mm, gotcha. Yeah, interesting.
The only other rumor that I heard of potential people that were on there, again sticking with the figure skating theme, is apparently there was a famous Russian married
What was it?
couple
Yeah, a pair.
uh,
Yeah.
that was on it, but I don't know the validity of that. That's just what I heard. Oh, is that? I don't know. Megan just told me it's true, so I don't know who they are, but
Yeah.
but
That's my understanding.
yeah, sad day. Sad shit that happens. It's the first aviation accident to happen in the United States since 2009.
Mm.
So that's something, I guess.
Like public commercial, commercial aviation accident
Yeah,
because it's
commercial. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So that does say something. And this wasn't like a malfunction or something like this. This was an accident. So I know there was a lot of people that were freaking out and afraid to fly today and all that, but if this type of shit's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, but it's not gonna be frequent. There's obviously guards in place that 99.9999% of this is going to be caught before anything like this happens. It just so happened that this one, for whatever reason, was not. So,
yeah.
but yeah. Anyway, I think that we'll find out a lot more about it over the. Hopefully, it doesn't take. The one thing I hate about this, and I get it. I get that, a lot of times you're having to take an aircraft and basically pluck it out of the water or pluck it out of the jungle or pluck it out of, the 1,000 pieces that it's in and reconstruct it to figure out what happened. But I really hope that this one kind of goes a little faster. They're only in the aircraft are, they both landed in the water. They're both only in 8 feet of water.
Yeah.
So it's not like,
Yeah.
8 feet of water and 180 feet of water trying to do it are two completely different missions. So hopefully this one, we get some answers relatively quickly because I think people are really going to be looking for them.
Yeah.
So, but all right, it's late. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Back to the office.
Before your big trip.
Before the big trip, and then yeah, if you're down, we'll go for it again on Tuesday.
Cool. Yeah, man.
All right, y'all have a great weekend, and yeah, stay safe. We'll talk to you.
I'll see ya.